I have a question for all of you all. Do you honestly think you're ready for 2024? Or, hell, do you think you're ready for what's to come in the future? Because I can tell you right now, if you were fooled by this Miami alien story, then I don't think you're ready for what's to come. Because what's to come is way crazier than anything you've ever experienced. This coming year is going to be filled with some of the wildest news stories you've ever seen. We are going to see people losing their minds. We're going to see attacks. We're going to see all types of crazy conspiracies come about. Right now, at the time of this recording, elites are starting to flee from their mansions. They're fleeing from their condos. They're going into hiding because a lot of them are being exposed. And when the world's most powerful people begin to get exposed and their backs are against the wall, they will do anything. They will lash out. They are going to throw this world into complete chaos to cover up their own wrongdoings. They want 2024 to be so crazy that this list, the thought of elites doing weird things to kids on an island, that's going to be at the back of your mind. That's going to be the least of your worries. And if you're already getting tricked by side-op distractions in the first week of 2024, how do you plan on making it any further? I would say that this is just the beginning, but this is not even really the beginning yet. And already, it's been proven that most people aren't ready for what's to come. This alien story already proved that the elites don't even have to work that hard to distract you. They could throw any nonsense out there and people are going to eat it up. And when it comes to this Miami alien story, I don't think the elites are behind this distraction. No, regular everyday people are creating these distractions. They're crafting these distractions. And like I said in a previous video, they're handing it to the elites on a silver platter. Have you guys ever heard about things like Project Bluebeam? I know a lot of you have. I know a lot of you are into the aliens and UFO stories. I am too. I love doing research into that stuff. So most of you should know what Project Bluebeam is. I see people talk about Project Bluebeam all the time in my comment section, but now I'm questioning, are you really prepared for that? If you couldn't handle the Miami alien story, if you couldn't tell that was fake, how are you going to tell that Project Bluebeam is fake? When the government and powers that be stage a fake alien invasion using high-tech equipment, holograms, and you name it, if and when this does happen, how are you going to handle that if you couldn't handle a 1-minute clip of police cars outside of a mall? Because that's all this Miami alien story is. There's no videos of aliens. There's no evidence of this. There's no evidence of that. It is a 2-minute clip of police responding to a crime at a mall. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. A clip filmed from like a hotel room where you just see a bunch of police cars. And that's all it took for people to craft and create a distraction. That's all it took for gullible people to believe that we were being invaded by aliens. You didn't see an alien. You didn't even really see any real first-hand accounts of aliens. All you saw was a clip of police outside of a mall. And that was enough to trick you into believing that they were aliens attacking the mall. Aliens attacking the mall. So how are you going to be prepared for Project Bluebeam? Hell, you guys, and I don't mean necessarily my viewers, but the people who believe in this, how are you going to be prepared for Project Bluebeam? You're not even ready for TikTok. A lot of these people can't even handle the misinformation nonsense that's being spread on TikTok. If you can't handle TikTok, you can't handle Project Bluebeam. If and when there's a possibility that the powers that be stage a second coming of Christ, or something along those lines by using Project Bluebeam. How are you going to be able to handle that? A 2-minute clip of police cars outside a mall took you guys out. That's all it took. It took you guys out. It blew your freaking minds. People are running around here like chickens with their heads cut off over a 2-minute clip of police outside of a mall. No aliens in sight. So when the government brings out these freaking holograms and stuff, when Project Bluebeam gets put into full effect, you're not going to be able to handle it. You can't handle a TikTok video. You can't handle people lying on TikTok. You can't tell when people are bullshitting on TikTok. How can you tell when the powers that be are lying to our faces? How can you tell when they actually put effort into what they are doing? And if you don't know what Project Bluebeam is, I suggest you start doing your research. Because people need to be prepared for this stuff. And this story shows me that no one's prepared. Hell, people are not prepared for 2024. Because not only are we going to have a lot of wild and crazy stuff going on, there's going to be more distractions than ever. They're going to be creating more distractions than ever. And unfortunately, people who are on our side, who we think are our allies, they're going to be out here unknowingly spreading nonsense distractions like this Miami alien story as well. So it's not like we just have to worry about the powers that be now. We have to look at our neighbors and we have to ask them, why are you spreading stupid ass nonsense instead of chasing the truth? Because that's what I'm in this for. I'm not in this to share the craziest, wild, untrue story. I'm in this for the truth. I don't care if the truth is entertaining and interesting or the truth is boring. I'm not here for the most crazy story that gets the craziest clicks. I'm here for the truth. And everyone on our side should be focused on the truth. Not focused on these honeypots, not focused on these psyops, but man, these people love a good psyop. These people love these crazy, whacked out theories that get spread around. And it's because of stuff like this that people look at real stories and they label them as conspiracies, right? For instance, this list, these documents, these Epstein documents that have been released, this is stuff that our side, we've been talking about this for years. We were called crazy conspiracy theorists for believing any of this is true. And now these documents confirm that, hey, all of those conspiracy theories you had, they were true. All of this is real. There really is there's a ring of elites doing crazy things to kids. All of that is real. But as all of these documents are coming out confirming that our suspicions were true, that we weren't conspiracy theorists, that we were people that knew what was going on, as all of these documents are coming out, people on our side are ignoring the documents, and they're all looking at a 2-minute clip of police outside of a freaking mall in Miami. And that is sad. It's discouraging. It's demoralizing. And it's a wake-up call for people like me. Because now I understand what I'm surrounded by. I thought I was surrounded by sheeple and a good bit of people who, I thought I was surrounded by sheeple, but there were some people out here that, were really focused on the truth. There were people out here really fighting for the truth. But a lot of these people who are fighting for the truth, no, they're fighting for the craziest wild story that they could distract themselves with and entertain themselves with, while real actual evidence and documents are being released. Let's pass around a 2-minute clip of police at a mall. Let's not talk about Bill Clinton. Let's not talk about Stephen Hawkins. Let's not talk about Dershowitz. Let's not talk about these freaking submarines and this island and these flight logs. Oh my God. It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy. But I think that this happening right at the beginning of the year is good, because hopefully this will serve as a wake-up call to other people as well. Hopefully you can look at your neighbor, you could look at your friend, and you could shake them out of it. Hey, stop being distracted by stupid Miami aliens and focus on the real stuff. Because this happened at the beginning of the year. We kicked off the year with the most stupid distraction I've ever seen in my life. But it worked. It worked, and it's working good. But luckily, we went ahead and got this first distraction out the way. So hopefully this distraction wakes up a couple of people. Maybe some of the people that allowed themselves to be distracted by this nonsense will be more careful moving forward, but I don't have faith in that either. But all in all, this just shows me that even the portion of people who I thought were ready for what's to come, who are prepared for what's to come, they're not. Most people aren't. The sheeple, they're definitely not prepared, and even the people on our side that you think are prepared, they're not. A lot of them are gullible, they're going to be misled, and they already have been. And not only that, they're going to be weaponized against us. And that's what we're witnessing right here. Because some people are so dead set on believing that Miami aliens, that they'll look at people who are actually like me, they'll look at people like me, and they'll look at people like some of you all who are actually trying to spread the truth, who are actively trying to make sure that you're not misled. They'll look at you like you're the enemy. So what's going to happen is we don't have to worry about the sheep. I thought the sheep were who we have to worry about. No, we have to worry about our own side being turned on us and weaponized against us, because a certain portion, a large portion of our side are going to be gullible enough to buy whatever they believe. And when you tell them it's nonsense, they're going to start looking at you like you're the enemy. So I think that's much of what 2024 is going to be about. Putting out these distractions, putting out these psyops in order to turn truth seekers against each other, in order to turn people who are at the very least trying to pay attention to what's going on in the world, they're going to try to turn us against each other. And they already see it happening in this story. I got a lot of people upset at me because I don't believe the story about 10-foot aliens. But it's obviously fake. I know people who work at the airports in Miami. No airports were shut down. There were no Black Hawk helicopters flying around. There weren't thousands of people without power. There weren't people running from aliens. There were kids fighting, shooting, doing all of that nonsense. Stuff that we're seeing happen in cities all across America. A very real problem that we should be tackling and not blaming on aliens. And it hurts me to my heart. And I mean that for real, honestly. It hurts me to my heart seeing how easily so many people are being misguided. Because we need every sword and soldier we can muster. 2024 is wild. We are at war. And I'm not talking about wars between militaries and foreign countries. We are in a spiritual battle right now. And I think most of you all can tell. You can feel it in the freaking air. We are in a spiritual battle. And I don't necessarily mean that in a religious way, although some people will view it in a religious way, but it doesn't really matter what religion you are in. This battle is as old as time. The battle between good and evil. We are in this spiritual battle. And one can make the argument that this battle has been raging for years, but we are definitely at this boiling point, right? We are at this boiling point. People like you, people like me, we're on the front lines of this war. And it's a war. And some of you may be laughing and you don't think we're in a war. You don't think we're in a battle. But guess what? The other side, oh, they know we're in a war. That's why they're actively fighting against us every day. They're actively fighting to silence us. They're actively fighting to distract us. There's so many things I can't even talk about on this platform. And the reason I can't is because we're at war. Battles are raging right now as we speak. And in a time like this is crucial because right now it feels kind of like the tides are turning a little bit. It feels like we're starting to gain momentum. The side of good, the side of truth. It seems like we're gaining momentum. And I don't want any stupid stories coming and getting in the way of that momentum. And at the very least, I want people who watch my channel to be prepared for what's to come. And when I say I want people to be prepared, I don't mean like doomsday prep. I don't mean I want you all to go down to Food Lion and buy a bunch of canned goods. I'm talking about being prepared mentally, psychologically. That's what's most important. I look around and people are prepping. People are, oh, we need these food supplies. We need this. We need that. No, you need to prepare your minds. Everyone's preparing with food. Everyone's preparing with bomb shelters. No, this is what's most important. Your mind. That's what you need to prepare. Your mind and your spirit. And I don't care what religion you are. You need to be in tune with yourself spiritually and mentally in order to fight this battle so we can win this war. So when I say be prepared for what's to come, understand that I'm not talking about running out to the store and buying up all the toilet paper like people did during the pandemic. No, I'm talking about being prepared mentally. Because when you look at the people who were distracted by this alien story in Miami, they weren't prepared mentally. They're casualties of this war already. Hell, they've been recruited to the enemy side and they don't even know it. They're being used against us. So at the very least, going forward, I just hope that most of the people that watch my channel are prepared for what's to come, because we haven't even really gotten through a full week of 2024 yet. And it's already been so wild. A year's worth of news has happened within this week. And I know it's overwhelming, especially for people like me who has to cover this stuff. So I get that it's overwhelming. I get that it's hard keeping up with this stuff. I get that sometimes it's easy to be distracted. We're all distracted, but we just have to be careful. We just have to be careful. And I just want everyone to be prepared emotionally, mentally, and spiritually going into the rest of the year, because we're going to have a lot thrown at us, people. And I'm going to be here for you. And I hope that you all are going to be here for me. We're going to be here together. We're going to be laughing at this stuff. We're going to be exposing this stuff every step of the way. But we have to be ready. And right now, I don't think most people are ready. Because if all it took was a 2-minute clip of police outside of a mall to send people through this type of whirlwind, what do you think is going to happen when there's actually effort put behind whatever distraction they have at the time? There was no effort put behind this Miami mall story. So what do you think is going to happen when there's billions of dollars and the world's most powerful people backing a distraction? I want you to look around you right now. Look around you at some of the people you talk to, some of the people you interact with. A lot of those people are going to be casualties of this war. And I don't mean they're necessarily going to get killed or die, but they're not going to be able to make it through, because they're going to get sucked in by one thing or the other. And if we already got this much going on in week 1, imagine week 2, imagine week 3, hell, imagine 6 months down the road. Just get ready, folks, get ready. I could sit here talking about this all day, but let me know your thoughts. Flesh out all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, if you're feeling generous and you want to donate to the channel, you could do so via CashApp, or you could donate via Super Thanks, or for free. You could help the channel by liking, subscribing, ringing the notification bell, all of that good stuff. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all very, very soon in the next one. Be ready, be prepared mentally.